Hello, hello. How are we tonight? If this is the first time you're seeing me, my name is Chuck, and I am a creator, uh, subject matter expert, maybe. Don't know how you would describe that, but let me start out by saying if you are a person who has studied something by reading 5 books or you've done it for 50 to 100 hours, you are actually a definitive subject matter expert. So this would apply to you. That's why I say creators and experts over 40. Because if you're over 40, guess what? You're an expert in something. Truth be told, anybody between 60 and 16 is probably an expert in something. You just got to figure out what that thing is. Now, if you would like to ask a question, here's what I'm going to ask you to do, and I don't know where it went. Where did it go? There it is. All right. If you would like to ask a question, this is how you do so. Put a Q, a colon, and then ask your question. Okay? And let me put that over here so you can see that too, right? We will make this. There we go. So if you want to ask a question, that's how you do so. And I'll leave that up here for just a couple of seconds. But so here is the here's the thing I want to ask you. Number one, if you haven't seen me before, put a 1 in the comments. If you have seen me before, put a 2. But I want to tell you something here, and there's good news and bad news about creating content. All right, there's good news and there's bad news. Now, the bad news is, are you ready for this? Most people are chasing the wrong goal. And you got to stop chasing the wrong goal. Views aren't the problem. The business model is. Because chasing views isn't a business model. Despite what TikTok wants to tell you, or despite what YouTube wants to tell you, the likelihood you're going to be Kylie Pitts on TikTok or you're going to be Mr. Beast on YouTube, very, very low. Very low. Okay? But there's a better way for you to monetize content, and it has nothing to do with views. It has nothing to do with followers. It has nothing to do with the algorithm. But you need to stop chasing the wrong goals. That is number one. And then number two, let's get into them. You don't need YouTube monetization. This would also apply for TikTok, right? You don't need monetization by a platform because discovery isn't income. One of the things that I love to tell people is that there's signal and there's noise. Most of what you get from social media is noise, likes, comments, shares, engagement, all of that stuff, new followers, views, that's all noise. It has no correlation to actually making any money. None whatsoever. So don't fall for that trap. Okay? Don't fall for it. And what is going on here? So don't fall for it. It is not going to monetize. It is not going to make you any money. So you are better off just realizing that there is a better way to do this. All right, a much better way. And it is this. And I forgot to make this for discovery to community to income. Right? Discovery to community to income. That is a much more, not only a better way to do it, But you know what else it is? It's a more predictable way to do it. Because you are, like it says here, you are building income that you own, not that you rent. If all you're doing is posting on social media and hoping the algorithm is going to favor you, good luck. That's really all I can tell you. Good luck. Because it's not going to. It's absolutely not going to. And if you are waiting for that, you're going to be waiting forever. So why not do this instead? So, number one, you don't need platform monetization. Number two, you don't need a huge audience. Do you realize, especially if you are on, if you're on YouTube, which I am simulcasting to YouTube as well as to TikTok, but if you're on YouTube, if you can successfully monetize even a small audience at 1 to 5%, it is better than trying to grow your audience by 100%. Trust beats traffic. Now, when I talk about content here, I am only talking about people that create content that shows off expertise or knowledge in a subject. I am not talking about entertainment. I am not talking about debates and dance-offs and all of this garbage that fills the internet. I am not talking about that. I am talking about, hey, I'm good at raised bed gardening. I want to make content about that. Or I'm good at crafts. I want to make content about that. Or I'm good at homesteading. I want to make content about that. That's the type of content that I'm talking about. But let's say you just have an audience of 10,000 people, right? Which is not huge on any platform, but it's bigger than most. But let's say you have that audience of 10,000 people. If you can successfully monetize 1% of that audience, that's 100 people paying you whatever you decide to charge a month. Or if you can monetize up to 5% of that audience, that's 500 people paying you whatever you decide to charge every month. And you should be charging. You absolutely should be charging. And I don't know what's going on here. I think we've got a little bit of a lag, right? So, number one, you don't need to be monetized. Number two, you do not need a huge audience. You don't need complexity either. You don't need funnels and landing pages and email sequences. It is 2026. Here's what nobody wants. Nobody wants to be on an email list. That is not what we live for. The problem with email in 2026 is that it is a one-way channel of communication. It is you as the quote-unquote guru or expert just shoving your opinions down other people's face, right? I am trying to look. Looks like we've got a comment somewhere, and I am trying to pull it up, and it's not pulling up for me. I don't know why. I have no idea why it's not pulling up. Interesting. Okay. It's not letting me see the comments. I apologize for that. But you don't need complexity in 2026. It's not necessary. And like I said, people don't want to be on an email list. They don't want to be on that. Would you want your grandmother on an email list? No. What people want is they want a shared experience and they want an interactive communication. Plus, they want to know they're not the only person that decided this was a good idea. So that is not the definition of an email list. And they don't convert. Email lists are lucky if they convert at 1 to 2%. Now, the model that I'm talking about can convert anywhere between 4 and 5, and I've seen as high as 10%. Okay? So it's a much better model. So all you really need to do, and I'm supposed to be hiding this. So all you need to do is you just need to pick a topic that you want to make content about. You want to build a place off of social media that people can go to find out more about that topic. And then you want to invite them to that place. That's all you have to do. That is all you have to do. And that's what I teach inside of my community called the Kashflow Path. But you pick, you build, you invite. That's it. And there are many people on TikTok as well as YouTube doing this brilliantly. They literally give away all their content, all of their secrets, all of their processes. They give it away for free. And then they have a mention of a place that they own that you can get more information. So it's a simple process. Man, we are having some serious lag today. I apologize, guys. There we go. All right. So trust is better than views. And this is why people go live. Because when you go live, it's kind of hard to fake it. You either know your subject or you don't. You're either ready for questions or you're not. And so trust is way better than views, because trust is, hey, are you having this problem? It's not, I got 50,000 views on this video. It's, hey, 100 people, are you having an issue with X? Let me show you how to fix that thing. That's way better than views. Look, I know people that get millions of views and they don't make any money at all. They make none. I know people with followings of 500 people and they make $20,000 a month. Why? Because people trust them. And they've learned how to monetize just that 1% of their audience. And then last but not least, you have to build something you own, because you don't own anything here. Whether it's YouTube, whether it's Facebook, whether it's TikTok, you don't own it. You are building your house on sand. I'll give you 3 examples. Number one, there was a friend of mine who had, and this happened to me too, but there was a friend of mine, he had 750,000 followers on TikTok. 3 different times they took away his account. 3 different times. And then I had an account of mine taken away that I had 41,000 followers on. And I never got mine back, because they decided that it was okay to allow someone who I did not authorize to change my email, my password, my phone number, and then they were able to block me, so I couldn't even see the account that I built to 41,000 people, right? So it was a house of sand. I did not own it. That's 2 examples right there. And then my friend Lion, who is a frequent guest on my lives. My friend Lion, he built a Facebook group to 4,000 people, and he was routinely making $6,000 to $10,000 a month just by making videos, right? Reels. He was making that kind of money routinely. And then all of a sudden, one day, Facebook said, we're taking it away from you. So you need to build a place you own, and you need to stop waiting on the platforms. Now, if you want to know how to do that in the simple way, right? The simple way, this is how we do it. You can join my free community, which is called the Kashflow Circle. We are the Kashflow Path now. We used to be the Kashflow Circle. We are not the Kashflow Circle anymore, because you know what? Nobody wants to join a circle. I'll just be honest with you. Nobody wants to join a circle, but they want a path, right? You want a path. And so the path is build something you own, create recurring income by building an offer. And so that's what we help people do. We help people build an offer that people are going to want. We help them build the mechanism by which they can get paid every single month. And then we help them do nothing but provide value to those people so they will keep paying them over and over and over again. And that's what we do. That is how this works. So if that is something that you want to learn more about, you can check out my profile. I know on TikTok you can't say the BIO word, which is stupid. On YouTube, you can say whatever you want. And yes, all you have to do is visit my profile and the links are there. So you can check it out. Now, here's one thing about my community. It used to be free. And I'll be honest with you, we had a whole lot of tire kickers. And I don't have a lot of time for people that aren't going to take something seriously. I just don't have that time. And I don't want to deal with that. Right? And so what I decided that I was going to do is I decided that I was going to boot tire kickers. Because those people who pay attention. And the people who pay are the ones who get results. Let me show you what I mean. I got to bring this back up. What is going on here? Man, we are dealing with some... There it is. Okay. So, there it is. So, if you look inside of the cash flow, I know it says cash flow circle here. I haven't gotten around to changing the URL, but it is called the cash flow path now. And there we go. Oh, I think I already had that, didn't I? Yes, I did. Sorry about that. Just need to bring it up. There we go. All right. So this is the cash flow path. Now, people who pay and people who follow directions get results. Like my friend Ray here. Ray, 67 years old, never knew anything about it, found me on TikTok, jumped into my program, and within 10 weeks, he went from regretting and waiting and being curious to having 20 members and making $1,462 a month. Look at his conversion rate, by the way, in the early days of his community. Look at that conversion rate. That is 6 times what you will get with an email list. That's what I'm talking about. This is a new model. This is a new model. Then you got my friend Cindy, who some of you may know. She's the artsy school or the DRC teacher on social media. She's got 300,000 followers on TikTok. And within 30 days, she had $3,000 of monthly recurring revenue because she had 30 students paying her $99 a month. And after the transaction fee, she was making $3,012 a month within 30 days. Right? So what you want to do is you want to, your experience is worth way more than you think it is. Way more. So the cash flow path is build it because you own it, grow it because you scale it, and then keep it because it's recurring income. So you build recurring income so you actually own the future. And the thing that people just don't understand is they don't understand that their information, the stuff that's in your head, the things that you can easily discuss with other people, those things are worth a lot of money. All you have to do is find the people who have problems related to those things and then offer them a solution. And the best way that I've seen to do this is you give away everything on live streams and on videos. You don't hold anything back. In other words, you create the DIY solution so they can try to do it themselves. But here's what's going to happen. There's going to be something that they're missing. And if they don't have access to you, they're probably not going to get the results. And it's not that you're holding anything back. There's just going to be something that holds them back. There's going to be an obstacle, right? And it's usually going to be around step 1 or 2 that they're going to have this obstacle. And if they don't make their way past that obstacle, then they're not going to have success. Here's another quick story. Perfect example of this is I am beginning to run meta ads, but guess what? I've got an account that for whatever reason, Meta decided to restrict my account. I can't run any ads on my account. So I'm in a holding pattern until I get that part figured out. That's why I joined a community where I can get this thing figured out. Right? So there's always going to be something that's going to be holding people back. And so what you want to do is you want to give away everything on YouTube or TikTok, and then you want to offer customization, accountability, and access to you in a community. Because a paid community, again, is monthly recurring revenue that you can depend on. And I think that's the most important thing to have in 2026. It's not one-off sales. It's not trying to get paid by a platform. It's recurring income that you can depend on. So if there are no questions, and I don't see any, because I don't see any comments coming in on either platform, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. So if you want more information on this, you're not really going to find it on my TikTok. I do go live here, but you're not going to find the information on my TikTok. You're going to find it on my YouTube channel, where I share screens and I show you all of this stuff, and I show you how to do all of this stuff on my YouTube channel. You can check it out over there. And then there's also, if you're a serious person and you're ready to give the Kashflow Path a try, it's $49 a month. And before you say, whoa, that's expensive, I give you 4 hours minimum of my time live every single month. And sometimes it's closer to 6. Just depends on how long my calls go every week. And right now I'm only holding them once. I may get to the point where I start holding them a couple of times a week. But right now you're getting my time for $12.25 an hour. Trust me, I've been on this platform called School for 3 years. My time's worth a lot more than that. I've had people pay me $500 for an hour of my time. And you're going to get it for $12.25 an hour inside of my community. And you got 7 days to try it if you want to. Check it out. But it's the people that pay that pay attention, and it's the people that pay that get results. And then it's also the people who do the free trial so they can actually get on the inside and see what they're saying yes or no to. Because you can't really make an informed decision on anything until you're on the inside. You're not going to make a decision on buying a car just by looking at it from the outside. You want to test drive it. You want to see how it feels. You want to see how it feels to when you drive it. You want to see how it stops. You want to see how it turns. You want to see if the seats are comfortable, right? You want to see all of that stuff, but you can only do that by test driving it. Same thing with a community. That's why I offer a 7-day free trial. And then within 7 days, if you don't feel that it's worth $49 a month, then leave before your trial is up and you'll never be charged. But you won't know unless you're on the inside. And you won't know and see all the success stories and get to meet the really cool people inside there if you don't do that. So I don't see any questions. So we're going to wrap this thing up. But it is time to build something you own and quit renting your success from a platform. So we'll see you later.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.